Today we are going to be talking about the story of the fall of the House of Usher. Now we are not talking about Usher, the R&B singer, and his divorce, or the time he broke up with Chili from that girl group from the 90s after he got her pregnant. Of course not. We are going to be talking about the story by Edgar Allan Poe. This is not TMZ. So I met Edgar was into this gothic, crazy kind of spookiness when he wrote his short stories. A haunted house, dreary landscape, mysterious sickness, and double personality. This jump was totally crazy. Let's get to it. So this dude, Mr. Unnamed, my man Edgar, didn't give him a name because he was crazy. Received this letter from his friend Roderick. Yo, Roderick was mad rich, and he was inviting the narrator to spend some time with him in his mansion. Sounds awesome, right? You'd be wrong, bro. The mansion was extra nasty. Suns were disintegrating, the trees in the yard are decaying, the ponds are murky, and it's a total Halloween fest. There was even a crack going from the roof to the ground in front of the building. Keep going. Evidently, Roderick was all kinds of sick, so his buddy rushed to be with him. The Usher family was crazy. Every generation died with just one survivor. This time, the survivors were Roderick and his sister that looked like a corpse, drawn from Tim Burton. Madeline was mysteriously sick, and the doctors were like, yo, this chick got catalepsy or something. When she dies, we should totally steal her body to study. Roderick starts telling his buddy that the house is making them sick. That's crazy. My dude, the narrator thought they were extra close to Roderick, but didn't even know he had a corpsey like twin sister. The chick dies, or so they thought. So Roderick says, let's put her in the catacombs of the house so the doctors don't steal her body. Roderick, these catacombs are nasty. This is what the narrator said when he put bodies down there. The narrator noticed that her cheeks were rosy, which was very weird for a dead person. Over the next few days, Roderick starts getting psychotic. The dude is hearing things. One night, the narrator cannot sleep either. Psychotic Roderick knocks on the narrator's door, apparently hysterical. He leads the narrator to the window. When they look out, they see a bright-looking gas surrounding the house. It turns out the gas is a natural phenomenon, not very uncommon, and the narrator explains that to Roderick. The narrator decides to read to Roderick. He starts hearing creepy noises that correspond to the ones in the story. The narrator first ignores these sounds, thinking he's just spooked by Roderick's psychosis. It doesn't take the narrator long to realize that the noises are real and are coming from outside the room. Roderick slumps over in his chair and starts muttering to himself in a very crazy fashion. The narrator approaches Roderick to figure out what he's saying. Loony Roderick tells the narrator that he's been hearing the same noises for days and that he's convinced Madeline was buried alive and that she may be trying to escape. At that moment, he yells as she is standing on the other side of the door. That is when the wind blows the door open and they see Madeline looking like a corpse in white robes and all bloodied from the struggle of escaping. She jumps onto Roderick, attempting to attack him, and as her life drains from her, she takes his life in fear. She jumps on Roderick, attempting to attack him as her life drains from her, and she takes his life in fear. Good. The narrator flees the house, and as he does, he sees the house crumbling to the ground with the corpses of the last heirs still in it. The fall of the House of Usher possesses the quintessential features of the Gothic tale. A haunted house, dreary landscapes, mysterious sickness, and doubled personality. For all its easily identifiable Gothic elements, however, part of the terror of this story is its vagueness. We cannot say sure where in the world or exactly when the story takes place. Instead, the standard narrative marks of place and time Poe uses traditional Gothic elements such as inclement weather and barren landscapes. We are alone with the narrator in this haunted space, and neither we nor the narrator know why. Although he is Roderick's most long-term friend, the narrator apparently does not know much about him, like the basic fact that Roderick has a twin sister. Poe asks us to question the reason for both Roderick's decision to contact the narrator in this time of need and bizarre tendency of the narrator's response. While Poe provides the recognizable building blocks for the Gothic tale, he contrasts the standard form with a plot that is inexplicable, sudden, and full of unexpected disruptions. The story begins without complete explanation of the narrator's motives for arriving at the House of Usher. and this ambiguity sets the tone for the plot that continually blurs the real and fantasy. Poe creates the sensation of claustrophobia in the story. The narrator is mysteriously trapped by the lure of Roderick's attraction, and he cannot escape until the house of Usher collapses completely. Characters cannot move and act freely in the house because of its structure, so it assumes a monstrous character of its own, the Gothic mastermind that controls the fate of its inhabitants. Poe creates confusion between the living things and inanimate objects by doubling the physical house of Usher with the genetic family line of the Usher family, which he refers to as the House of Usher. Poe employs the word house metaphorically, but he also describes a real house. Not only does the narrator get trapped inside the mansion, but we also learn that this confinement describes the biological fate of the Usher family. The family has no enduring branches, so all genetic transmission has occurred incestuously within the domain of the house.